Hello and welcome to the first tutorial key point video for my W201 course. Really two purposes in the video. First was introduction to your fellow students. The second was the introduction to the course. Now I'll be sending around in the next few days a form which will invite you to share any details you wish with fellow students within the group. It's up to you whether you fill that in, and if so, what information you want sharing. But only information that you have supplied to me on that form, or which was supplied in the tutorial itself, where I have your permission to share it, will be shared, and they will only be shared by other people who have similarly agreed to share their information. But it really is useful to get in touch with other students. You'll find that those times when you feel you're all alone, you'll be able to get in touch with people who are facing almost exactly the same issues that you'll be facing. On to the course itself. As you'll have already seen from stuff that I've produced, Lord Acton's comment about power tends to corrupt really is central to the W201 course. If you wish another quote, it comes this time from Richard Nixon. In an interview with David Frost, he explained to Mr. Frost that, well, when the President does it, that means it's not illegal. Well, that's a particular view which was not upheld by the courts. But constitutional law, administrative law, and also criminal law is about controlling power. Constitutional law in the UK, it's referring to the traditional ways of controlling the use of executive power, through ministerial accountability to Parliament, through conventions which govern behaviour, through principles like the rule of law and separation of powers. But Parliament hasn't been able to hold fully accountable the executive, and what we've seen in recent years is the court stepping in and allowing decisions made by public authorities, and that term itself is open to some debate, to have those decisions reviewed not on the merits of the decision themselves, but on the way that the decision was taken. And where power has been misused in the way that a decision has been taken, judicial review could be granted. Human rights, again, puts legal limitations on the use of power. And when we move to criminal law, that too is about the abuse of power. But this time it's not political power, although sometimes it can be, but it's the power that comes from being able to point a gun, or from the power of threats, or the access that somebody has to your bank account details and is able to siphon away money, and so on. This course is about power, and particularly the control of state power. It's useful to look ahead, to look how this course is set up, so that you can map ahead your studies, know what you're going to be studying in and when, and that actually will make making the connections easier. I spoke about TMAs. The cut-off dates really are the cut-off dates. There is a short matter of hours grace period, but after that then they cannot be accepted unless there is an extension. That grace period is to cover things like computers breaking down, or losing internet access for a short period. And TMAs really don't solve many problems, and so if unless it is a really important issue, I'm going to suggest that you don't take extensions, because all they do is push the work further back to a time actually when it gets more critical, like the final TMA, which you cannot extend, and similarly the exams. And if you are eating into your revision time in order to get a few extra marks on a TMA, you're actually onto a loser there. Resources, lots available from me as your tutor, from the OU that they've already sent you. I hope to be providing these tutorial key point videos after each tutorial within a couple of days. You've seen the handouts I've done, and Washminster, the blog that I wrote to you about, that has lots of pieces written specifically for this course. You've got the useful internet websites handout, but take note of the news. This is a general election year. There are lots of issues about judicial review, about the future of human rights in this country, about the workings of the political system that to look at. The first TMA due on the 12th of November. I'll say more about it at the next tutorial, but you need to look at the role that the treaties of the European Union play in English law. You need to look at the doctrine of parliamentary sovereignty, and Dicey is very useful because he has 3 points on it, and I'll speak more about that next time. But also there are some key cases: Factortame, Thoburn and Sunderland City Council, McCartney and Smith, Garland and Brell. Do have a look at those. I'll speak more about them, and look forward to seeing you at the next tutorial. Bye for now.